This episode is presented to you by NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. With NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube and YouTube TV, you can watch your favorite teams' out-of-market Sunday games, plus watch up to 4 games at once with Multiview. Don't miss the race to the playoffs. NFL Sunday Ticket is now just $39 when bundled with YouTube TV, where you get even more football. Visit youtube.com/Spotify offer to sign up now. Lowest price on YouTube TV with base plan. Rest of 2023 season. Terms and embargoes apply. No cancellations.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
We talked about on this pod 2 years ago how when you turn on a television and you see a hoop striped soccer team, sporting blue and dark indigo stripes, we want you to know that that is Sporting Kansas City.
My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. This episode is brought to you by Rogers Red Cards, America's premier referee apparel warehouse. Rogers Red Cards. Book them. That's not, they need to change that slogan. That's not a very good slogan for them. I probably shouldn't disparage our sponsors like that. But please go. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us out a lot. The Blue Testament, wherever you get your podcasts. And we are going to have an update on our future very soon. I'm Cody Bradley, Thad Bell, David Greenwald are all together here, ready for the kit reveal. 2 of our favorite guests are here to show us the new drip and talk about the whole journey. Chad Reynolds and Thomas Earle, glad to have you gentlemen back.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, it is a big day. It's a big show for us. Everyone is excited. So I'm gonna go to Thad Bell here.
Wait, I have a question. I'm gonna interrupt off the bat because that's what I do.
Do it.
Is Rogers Red Cards a real thing? Is this just named after because I'm gonna tell Raj if this is named after Roger Espinoza. I just need to know so I can be fully informed.
I don't know. You know, I just get handed the ad reads. I'm like Ron Burgundy. They put it in front of me and I read it. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't confirm or deny this.
Teleprompter.
Sorry, I have another question.
Yeah.
We should have asked this before, but this is what we do every year on this pod.
Yeah.
Are we and we can edit this out or just roll with it.
It's
are we
the theme of our
pretending it's
show.
Thursday, or are we talking like it's Wednesday night and you guys are getting the sneak peek exclusive?
I was going to half-heartedly pretend that it was Thursday.
Okay.
We are recording,
even though you told everybody we're getting a sneak peek.
I do like to remind everyone that I get to see it before everyone else. So, but yes, it is fake Thursday right now. So
it's Thursday. Got it.
Going forward,
It's the day after the Chiefs parade.
Yes.
So I don't tell people that we get to a sneak peek because I don't want my friends asking me about it. Like, I don't want to keep the secret.
Perfect. So this is Thursday morning.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's not like you got a lot of time to keep the secret. I mean, it's like
Coming to you live at 4:30 in the morning on Thursday,
right.
February 16.
Yes.
I mean, we're like 10 hours away at this point.
So, okay, everyone is excited, and And I'm going to go to the Thad Bell, who is famous for his support on this show, always supporting me with the laughs in the background. He brings the energy anytime I need to get the show going. So I'm going to go to Thad here. Thad Bell, here we are. Ready to put last season behind us. Match day 1, just over a week away. We just learned that the new center back is on the way. Star players almost back in the mix. Polito's thighs are out and set to return. Gotti Kinda's coming back, maybe sometime, hopefully soon. Chad and Thomas are here. It's Jersey Thursday. Are you ready, Thad?
I'm so excited.
Thank you, Thad, getting us started on the right foot. I am ready to go now. Chad Reynolds, Senior Director of Brand. Thomas Earle, Director of Retail Operations. So now I can't do it. It is Thursday. So yesterday I was at the Super Bowl parade. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl on Sunday. But guys, I know this is your Super Bowl here today. So congratulations on reaching the finish line here. I know all the other jerseys, most of the jerseys are out and leaked. What are you liking so far from the rest of the league? What are some of your favorites?
I think T and I are on the same page. We've been talking all day about this, right? I'm personally big fan of the Colorado kit. I think it's a really good look. I got a sneak peek at that when Thomas and I were up in Portland at an Adidas trip like 6 months ago. And I remember like seeing it and then walking out of that room and being like, T, I just saw the Colorado jersey. He was like, what's it look like? And I was like, I cannot describe it. Like, I don't have the words, but it's cool. It's like, It's blue and it's got, and that's where I lost it. But no, I dig the Colorado kit. That's probably my favorite that I have seen yet. I think Houston did a good job with the orange, making it not just a plain orange. But it's, that's clearly a Houston Dynamo kit. I kind of dig the Austin one. It's a little Barcelona-y from a couple years back, but that's
I dig it.
But those are the three that have kind of really stood out to me.
David, you were just talking about one before we started here. That was one you didn't like?
I didn't like the Austin kit.
Okay.
It makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster and my eyes are bouncing all around and like the lines aren't straight like they're supposed to be. And then Thad and I were talking about this before the pod. And during World War II, the Navy painted stripes like that on the side of the ships to make them harder to target.
It was called dazzle camouflage.
Yeah. They still do that for cars. Like that's what car companies do so that you can't tell what the body, like the like when they're doing tests out there, if somebody takes photos, you can't tell what like the body is going to look like on, the new Audi, whatever. They do that. Like it's the same kind of concept as dazzle camouflage. And now I'm never going to not see that when I look at the Austin kit.
Any of those with like that broken up line stuff, like the US kit.
I really dig the Seattle. I hate saying this because if anybody who listens to this knows how I feel about Seattle, but the Bruce Lee kit is sick.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I really, really, really like the idea behind the Bruce Lee kit. I think it turned out really cool. So I'm excited about that one. I love the NYCFC kit.
Yeah,
I like the story behind that one as well. I think it turned out really cool. So those are two of my favorites. I echo Chad though. Colorado, I think might be my favorite of the bunch right now.
I like the Bruce Lee kit just because that's a good name. Just the Bruce Lee kit is a great name. And I'm envious that we don't have like a figure like that we could prop up that has the name carries that weight that they do.
We don't have Bruce Lee. Like that's a tough one to not like to follow up.
They've
done Jimi Hdrix and Bruce Lee now, right? Yeah. Back to back, which is like and truthfully, as a non-Seattle person,
as a normal person.
I didn't know that Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee like were associated, or the city claimed them. So that's a cool storytelling thing for them to get to put out there into the world. Because for whatever reason, I associate Jimi Hendrix with London. I know that's where he died. I know that's where.
I was so confused about that.
I know he spent a lot of time there in the London music scene, but for whatever reason, he had that guitar that was in the jacket that had the Union Jack on it. So like maybe that's why. But yeah, you learn about it. It's just like, oh yeah, Bruce Lee went to the University of Washington. Like I Googled that today. I spent time on Bruce Lee's Wikipedia page today because of the Seattle Bruce Lee kit, which is pretty cool. That means they're doing their job. They're telling a cool story.
I move that we do a Bruce Chen kit. Because to me, that name carries that same weight.
Chin music.
The chin music. Oh my gosh, what a vibe.
You know, we could do it. We talked about this. We've talked about like iconic Kansas Cityans. We could do a Charlie Parker kit. There's a story there. The thing about Charlie Parker is it's like he's really cool, and jazz as we know it doesn't exist without Charlie Parker. But it's like I don't think we would want to do a Charlie Parker kit. I think we'd want to do a broader Kansas City City music kit. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just how we would approach that in a different way if the opportunity ever presented itself. But you know, I mean, Charlie Parker's every bit as cool as Jimi Hendrix or Bruce Lee when you really dive into the history. Also, every bit as troublesome as Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee when you dive into their history.
Well, so Chad, if you talk to your counterparts over in Seattle, can you suggest to them a Sean Kemp kit?
Oh God.
Because that's the only other
jokes that
Seattle
I can't make
person
right now. Is it? I mean, if it's just the picture of him bringing down the backboard, I'm in.
So I'm looking at all these kit releases, and they all have names. There's the Bruce Lee kit, the Crown kit, the 4 Killy fit, the New Day kit, which makes me think of WWE.
Absolutely, it's absolutely a WWE kit right there. I love that.
Do you guys get any input in naming it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, I see Charlotte did drop the Crown kit tonight. We saw something about that the other day. That's I
last night
as a kid. Is it last night?
No, it's
on Wednesday night.
They
dropped it on Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Oh man,
causing problems.
I don't even want to do the pretending thing, and I got to keep people straight.
Cody's gonna have to edit the hell out of this. I love it. On Wednesday night, Charlotte dropped that kit, the Crown Jewel kit, which like makes me think back to growing up watching, you know, Grandmama, Larry Johnson, and Muggsy Bogues. Like that's what I looked at that kit and I see. It needs a few more pinstripes to get there, but it's but no, that's cool. Yeah, no, we absolutely get to help name that kit, and it's not, you know, it like everything in this jersey design process. It's collaborative with the clubs and Adidas, but you know, there's a page on the brief where we basically say this is what we think we're going to call this, and then sometimes that changes as you go through the process, and sometimes what you wrote down on day one sticks.
So speaking of collaborating with Adidas, you know, it's interesting. This year seems to be, you seem to get more unique kits than previous years, but there's been a lot of the kind of generic template kits over the last few years.
USA jersey.
Do you guys get pushback from Adidas to make their lives easier? Do you say like, we want to do this thing, and then they say, it seems too hard, I don't want to put the time and effort in MLS?
I wouldn't say that they put it that way. No, I mean, there are things that we would want to execute that are, for whatever reason, not executable, like not possible to be done the way we wanted to. I think we talked a little bit about this on last year's secondary kit.
Yeah,
we
like
had
where certain fabric is even allowed to go on the jersey and things like that.
Bingo. And you know, the style of jersey, like the cut, the jersey template that your club happens to be in dictates a lot of things. And so, for example, if we said we want this kind of collar, well, that kind of collar is only available on certain templates. And so now you're having a conversation around like, what if we want to do X? Well, you can't do X because you wanted Y, you know? So I would say that's really where a lot of those conversations come. And then it's like, if you want to do this kind of design, well, you can't do that on your primary. You could do that on your secondary or your club or your community or whatever we wanted to call them, because of either production or storytelling, or it's a dark kit and it's tougher to do things on a dark kit than it is on a light kit, or it's a light kit and it's tougher to do things on a, you know, whatever. There's like, that's such a weird answer, but Thomas and I are laughing because in the back of our head, we can like trace back different things over the last kind of couple of kits and be like, if we had done this part different or put this on a different thing, we would have had an option to change up how we executed this. And there's no way to like, it's a really long-winded answer to say it's not pushback per se, other than like, we're just figuring out how to execute it the right way.
And I feel like you were probably nicer about that than you could have been. I think there's probably a lot of things you wish you could do, and you probably even know that it's not even, like, you can't even ask for it. Like, you just already know it's not even on the table.
I'll put it this way. You see somebody come up with the jersey design on the internet, whether that's for us or any other club around the world. And we're all jersey nerds. We all follow that kind of stuff. And you see those like, I don't even remember the name of the Twitter account that I follow.
It's
that's
like
just really cool. Like
York and Is that
Oak
the
in
one
York or no, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a couple of them where it's just like artists sending in cool kit designs and they roll out the best ones. And it's like, that's awesome. That's impossible to execute, and we Thomas and I have the burden of knowledge of knowing that is unfortunately impossible to execute. And it's probably not that it's impossible to execute. It's impossible to execute at the scale, the production quantities, and the quality that Adidas and Nike and the big guys are going to require for playing at a first division top level field, whereas if you're just like sub dyeing something, like you can do it, but that's not what going to be the quality that you would necessarily want to wear on the field, right, T?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, as far as the quality goes, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that Adidas stresses. So we can do a lot of cool things, and you'll see a lot of cool T-shirts and jerseys that people either make on their own or are produced, worldwide, but they're not on the field. And that's the biggest thing that we see, and that's what we hear from Adidas, that they cannot be scaled to that level that we want on field, because what we sell at retail is exactly what they're wearing on field. And so that's a huge, huge, huge part of Adidas's kind of go to market, obviously, is that they want that quality to be there. So that's exactly right.
For example, that's why you see some of these clubs, especially the European clubs, where they've got such higher volume in terms of sales. That's why you see crazy crazy training tops and things like that, because that training top isn't the same material that the players need to wear for 90 minutes and perform in for, so they can get away with a little bit more design wise, because that material is more forgiving. It doesn't have the mesh panel on the back that we've talked about, those kinds of things in the past. So yeah, it's it all comes down to execution.
So I'm a jersey nerd, and my heart is with Sporting KC, but it's shared because Venezia has a big part of my heart. Those kits are sick. They're so sick every year. And you were just talking about partnering with Adidas and certain things, and how Adidas and Nike and some of the big manufacturers have certain, things. Do you think the league's ever going to ditch the single manufacturer and let teams find their own suppliers? Like, would we ever be able to switch things up and, go to, like the name of the company that makes Venezia's kits is escaping me right now, but, I want to, would we ever be able to escape the Adidas clause?
This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool. It helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about, so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/pixelnba. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements. Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple: products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Clause.
The Adidas deal, did they just re-up it, T, or is it not? It comes due here soon, right? Or it was going to come due. I can't remember. Yeah. So, the answer to that question is, I guess anything is possible. My hunch is that, and this is just total conjecture, I'm clearly not in these meetings at the league level, but my hunch is that I think Adidas is the league's second largest partner. They might be the league's largest partner, like in terms of overall, partnership spend and stuff like that. So if you're Major League Soccer, it's going to take a hell of a deal to replace that and parse that out, to multiple manufacturers or something like that. So my assumption is that as long as Major League Soccer is a single entity system, you're more likely to have one single kit supplier, unless and until there's a better reason not to. You know what I mean? And I'm not on the business side of this, but when you think about everything that Adidas supplies, all the way through the academy programs, MLS Next Pro, et cetera, for Major League Soccer clubs. I mean, I think we've talked about this on the pod in the past. Thomas and I, if we're out representing Sporting in any sort of capacity, can't wear another shoe brand. We need to be in Adidas or some sort of kind of like, you can wear if you're in a suit, you can wear dress shoes, but we couldn't roll around in another shoe brand. It's literally a fine because like the league is, partnered with Adidas and frankly, we all get, access to a bunch of gear because of it. So the trade-off is really nice.
I'm
sitting here and
who's going to tattle
Adidas
on
shoes
you
now.
though? They got scouts. Does Adidas have spies in the crowd at events and things like that? Who's going to tattle on you?
I mean, there's a league observer at the match who, if somebody's walking around on the sideline in an Adidas or in a non-Adidas shoe, if I'm on the sideline or Thomas is on the sideline, doing our jobs on a match day, wearing something that's a competing brand, it does literally get kind of written into the league report for that match, the same way it would if one of the players was wearing the wrong shoe. They were wearing a shoe that was not approved or with a different brand that they were approved to be a part of. So all those things do come up. Or for example, we just did, our big hype day shoot for 3 days with the players, and we shot behind the scenes footage, which you'll see over the next couple of weeks. We made sure that everybody on our set that worked for Sporting was wearing Adidas and knew that rule because what the last thing we want to do is roll something out with the wrong brand on it too. So I mean, it's not so much that like somebody's out there looking for it. It's just, why would we give them a reason to find it? Again, we've got such a good deal with Adidas. We get discounts on merchandise and all that kind of stuff. We get access to gear. So Thomas is shaking his head no.
Well, not to get too far astray from the kit, but I know Adidas has partnered with some MLS clubs to make an MLS shoe, like a tennis shoe. Sporting KC is not one of those clubs. Thomas, WTF?
Yet.
When am I getting my size 13 Sporting KC shoe?
Yet.
I didn't know that was a thing. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty cool, except for the St. Louis one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are there? There's probably about 10 or so clubs that have gotten the shoe.
Yeah.
Including one that didn't exist yet till just now.
Oh, we know. We're aware. We may or may not have mentioned that to them.
They're not salty about that or anything.
Trust me, this is one that probably right around this time every year we ask a couple questions. When is our shoe coming out? Is one every year. There's certain things that we ask, and the shoe is definitely top of mind. So trust me, as soon as that Sporting KC Ultra Boost comes out, size 13, I'll hold it for you.
Dibs. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so I'm waiting on.
I'm going to shoot my shot. 2025. That's when we'll see it.
All right, you heard it here first.
I feel like that's fair, and without any previous knowledge, truly, I really think that 2025. I think we have a good shot at getting that. I would love to have it by 2025.
Are they're just adding a few more teams every year, or there's criteria, or it seems random, or what?
You know what? I would probably relate it a little bit to like the Chad, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a little bit like the City Connect jerseys in the MLB. Yeah. A couple clubs get it every year. They launched it last year with roughly, I think it was 8 to 10 clubs, and I think that was good.
I bought that fountain jersey. That was so cool.
I don't blame you.
I love that fountain logo.
I think it was so cool. They executed it so well, and everything that was around it, they did so well. And I think we did a really good job of that in previous years with our third kits, because that's obviously what it was. But everything around the black Argyle, the white Argyle kits that we did so many things outside of the jersey, whether it was a hat, t-shirt. There were so many things that kind of complemented it. The Royals did such a good job with that. So I would relate it to that. And I think that we are hopefully, knock on wood, in line for one of those pairs of shoes here in the coming years. And 25 seems like a safe bet, Chad.
And that's mostly just like, think about production timelines too. We, like these timelines keep getting longer and longer, get more difficult, and certainly a global pandemic didn't help any of that. So
I know we're going to talk about the 23 kit here in a minute, but it'd be remiss if we didn't say that, Chad, we've already submitted our 25 kit. Like that's already in the works. And you guys know those timelines from what we've talked about in the past, but
Yeah.
Those timelines take a long time. And so I think that lends itself to that. And we've already done it with our kit.
How funny is that? When you 25 is in the books. Like we know what it's going to look like, right? Or well, we know we've sent the brief. We know the starting point, right? 24, we have a meeting on to finalize Friday, like the last round of prototypes.
Wow.
And we're sitting here and the 23 kit drops today.
Yeah,
right. We just launched 23.
And you have 1 week to celebrate.
Is that meeting at your offices?
Where am I? Where do I go?
It's in. We'll send you the Adidas Portland address. Yeah.
Road trip.
So before we get to the review, I have a couple other things to ask you guys. So, is there like trash talk amongst your colleagues? Like when you go to Portland to Adidas HQ or America, whatever it is, or like,
I can never get them to say that another jersey is bad or that a team is just bad at jerseys. They're too nice. They're respectable gentlemen.
But I'm not asking you to drag like any specific team or jerseys, but like, do you guys have like the banter whenever you run into like your colleagues from other clubs?
You go to that league, like the league retail summit every year. Does it ever come up there?
Oh, that sounds rowdy. The retail summit. Oh,
yeah, if there's one party that you guys should want to attend, it's the MLS Club Retail Summit. It's around April or May every year. No, I do think there's a little bit of that banter, but to your point, nobody ever says anything bad about him. It's a lot of the Portland Rose kit gets a lot of kudos. So a lot of people will tell them well done on that one. And Chad mentioned it earlier, the Jimi Hendrix kit. I think those are some of the ones that, the really, really good ones get called out a lot. But there's never a bad one in the league, right, Chad? But
yeah.
But those never get,
this is an audio medium, Thomas. Nobody can see Chad close his eyes and very clearly lie. Yeah, there's never a bad kit.
No, I'll give you an example.
We would never say that there's a bad kit in the league. Right. Is what I'm going to say.
We would never say that. I'll give you an example of somebody bad mouthing a kit that I actually love, that I have heard. And this was a conversation actually years ago now about third kits. And it was as simple as like, it's like third kits. What's the deal? How do we keep them going? Because ours are selling, this is probably after the black Argyle kit. Might've been after the white Argyle kit. We're like, we love these things.
Third kit. Sad days.
Huh?
I said RIP to the third kit.
Yeah. And so we were talking about it, and somebody said, the thing about the third kits is that for every Sporting KC Argyle kit that sells really well, there's a brown Vancouver Whitecaps kit that doesn't sell well. And I'm like, I thought that kit was great. I actually loved that jersey. But what I get, the vibe I get, and I don't know this explicitly, but the vibe I get is that did really well for diehard Vancouver Whitecaps fans. And it might have done really well at the team store, but it probably didn't sell as well at your Dick's Sporting Goods of the world. And like when that gets left on a shelf, like you guys Googling, I can see you Googling.
I am.
That's exactly what we're doing.
I am. It's not bad. With the blue,
I
and
dug
the brown,
it. I thought it was really
fun. The brown and the blue go well together, I think.
Yeah,
but still,
and it's on brand for there was a history behind it, and there was like it goes well with like their club and everything. But my hunch is, again, it didn't do well in like certain retail settings. And what people sometimes forget about this process is that it's not just about what Thomas, can help move at the Sporting Style stores at Children's Mercy Park or at sportingstyle.com. It's everywhere else that jersey needs to move to not just like make money, but to keep from losing money, So like if a retailer shells out a bunch of money, it's called sell through in this world, like, or buy in. So I'm going to get it wrong already. I had it right, didn't I?
Sell through.
Should have trusted my instincts. It's called sell through. If the retailer, buys a bunch of those and then they're left with them, what do you do? Because they're kind of just out the money. And so I think that that's like a weird kind of quirk of the industry that nobody talks about enough, because that does influence those kinds of things. And in those conversations, that's the one time you'll hear somebody say something negative about a kit, is it's like, it just didn't sell well. It didn't move. It didn't for whatever reason. And again, like as much as cool as I thought that Whitecaps kit was, apparently it didn't move. And, that influences numbers and that influences the future, et cetera, et cetera. So, but at the same time, like we all have friends around other clubs in this world too. Like, a buddy of mine wrote the press release for Houston Dynamo's jersey today. Like, so even if I didn't think that was a cool looking kit that told a good brand story for the Houston Dynamo, which I genuinely 100% honestly do, I wouldn't be out here being like, the Houston kit's just not there for me. And their storytelling wasn't very good because like my buddy Steve wrote that release. You know what I mean? Right. So like, there's the professional side of it as well. I might give Steve crap on the side if I didn't like the kit, but I wouldn't do it publicly. So yeah, you're right, Cody. We won't ever really just badmouth another team's kit.
Respectable
except
gentlemen.
St. Louis. It's pink.
Okay, good. Yes. Good. Okay, well, so Cody,
It's definitely pink. We can all say that, right?
Yeah.
City red is just pink.
Yeah.
Cody, did you hear how effortlessly Chad plugged sportingstyle.com?
He's a professional.
Okay, this is a good time to remind everybody that we all write for a website called thebluetestament.com. I'd encourage you to go check it out sometime.
Hey, did you hear I did the subscribe rate and the view at the beginning?
You did. So, but they also mentioned the Sporting Style stores, which leads me to my question for Thomas. So your marketing materials, like the advertising, it's always either players or like exceptionally good-looking people.
Hot people. Hot people.
Have you ever considered marketing to the common man? And maybe like using some friendly podcasters on a Zoom with you right now to see like, I know that the kit might look less flattering on me than somebody who's got like an 8-pack and like a chiseled, facial features or whatever.
But the common man needs to know how he's going to look
too. It's 2023, Thomas. Put me on the signage.
We can't do this show without someone trying to sneak their way in and get a free jersey. So that was just the standard part of this podcast.
Trust me, as seamlessly as Chad plugged sportingstyle.com, I could see what you three were doing with that one. So I get it. Yes, I think I see what you're saying. And Chad, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We are working to get a lot of different people, and our players are obviously our biggest asset that we have. Dick's doesn't have that. Shields doesn't have that. Adidas.com really doesn't have that. So we obviously love to use our players, but our fans are our biggest kind of asset that we have. So we need to kind of focus on them. And this year, Chad and I and his team are kind of focusing on trying to figure that out. So I'll keep you three in mind when we are kind of planning some of these photo shoots that we're getting ready to do. I just sent over a whole list of them for the whole year. So I'll make sure that you guys are available on those days, and we'll get you guys out to the plaza or to
we can do it while we're recording
in our natural habitat.
It'll be a very interrelated marketing opportunity for both you and for us at the same time.
Well, it's all about targeted marketing. It's 2023, right? It's all targeted marketing. So like when we're targeting the Lee Summit based podcast crew, like, like in the demo, it's a little niche, but we'll
we have listeners around the world, man.
Right. Well, and
absolutely.
We've got Gillum Park, we've got Overland Park, we've got all the parks, every park you can want. I've got deep ties to Casey Kane, much like you do, Chad. So, we
represent
this. We could make this happen.
In the meantime,
he knows a lot of criminals.
That's true.
Wow. I mean, represent. It's actually it's a great question. It's a timely question. It is something that we're talking about all the time.
Good job, David.
And it's something that we kind of sat down in the off season and said, hey, how do we approach this differently going into 2023? We've got some plans. What they say about plans is how do they come off? But we do have some plans, and I'm excited to see where we take this. It's believe it or not, it's not as easy to just hire models as people think it is. It actually is. It just costs a lot of money and all those kinds of things. So it's our players are our single largest asset. The truth of the matter is, though, there is no Sporting Kansas City fan in terms of one demo. Our demo is so broad that like that's a conversation we have all the time. A couple of years ago, we made a concerted effort to say, hey, we need to show more females in this gear. Just flat out. We realized, we looked at everything we'd done. It had always been players, which meant it was always males. So we needed to do more females. Well, the female line, the retail line, hasn't probably lived up to the availability of product, right? T is probably the best way to put that. Hasn't lived up to that over the years. That's getting better and better every year too. So now we have the ability to do that. Last year we did a specific kids shoot, which was really fun, like a youth product line shoot, which we hadn't done. I mean, I was about to say I hadn't done in my time here, which means we basically haven't done ever, because I've been here 17 years and they weren't exactly doing retail shoots before that. So it's been cool to kind of continue to expand that. And it's a conversation we were having the other day about how do we expand that even more.
Cody's got the boyish thing going on. He looks young. He'd be great.
Thank you.
You fit in a youth XL? Is that what we're...
Yeah. I'm gonna
it'd be Dwyer
confidently say yes.
Like be painted.
I would
you.
look like Dom Dwyer.
Taylor Twellman-esque.
I would look exactly like Dom
you
Dwyer.
in. We'll get you in. We can absolutely promote the youth stuff with you. I appreciate your volunteering to do that.
Yeah. In the meantime, keep an eye out for the Blue Testament monthly calendar that will be coming out.
God.
We'll just
Chad,
spray paint you, man.
Chad, you're that page at the beginning where you get 4 months, right?
Okay. I'm no more lollygagging here. I'm ready to see this thing. Are you about ready here, Chad? Any
We're ready.
Prefaces you want to give here? I'll let you can just kind of talk us through it in the way you see fit, and we will have our questions.
Let's start with the launch plan and what something we're really excited about. And Cody, if you can go ahead and give me the share screen privileges, we can share this too.
Wow, we should have done that first. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Stall for me. You're a radio. I see. I didn't give you your bona fides earlier. He's on 8:10, the final whistle, with Allie. Is Allie still doing it?
Allie and Dave, yeah,
Allie
still
and
doing
Dave.
it.
So yes, that's where you can hear him, and he's going to filibuster for me while I fix this.
Yeah. So normally the producer tells you how much time you have to fill, so I'm just gonna talk shit on the producer while doing this. No, we are.
You should. We do.
We're really excited about, and we can probably get into some of the Apple content later, but we're really excited about what this new Apple MLS Season Pass partnership that the league's got. And one of the things we're especially excited about is we are the only team in Major League Soccer who will be exclusively debuting our kit on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. It's completely free, no subscription required to go watch it. In fact, there's a boatload of really cool content up there already. No subscription required to go watch about Sporting Kansas City, learn about the players, learn about the club, etc. But as I said, we are the only team in Major League Soccer. 10 a.m. today, Thursday, February 16, on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. We will be debuting the video that you're going to see right here, right now, when Cody figures out how to enable.
How did that come to pass that we were the only one?
You should be able to.
We threw out the idea. True story. It was that simple. We said we wanted to do it. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. This is great radio.
For the record, I think you always had the ability. I'm just saying. You threw me under the bus there. Anyway.
No. I did not. I tried.
Is anybody else hoping that he accidentally clicks on
David, the answer to that question is we asked. We threw it as an idea. Like, we just said... It came up in like a conversation about what kind of cool stuff can we do with Apple and MLS Season Pass. We debuted our schedule release graphic with a slow-mo video of things being destroyed shot on an iPhone, And so we were always just trying to come up with cool ways to talk about this story, because truthfully, we know that one of the biggest complaints that fans have had over the last couple of years is how do they watch a Sporting Kansas City match, right?
Yeah.
It's moved around. It's been tough. We signed a deal with a really good TV partner, and then that TV partner got bought out and everything changed. And then last year it was available over the air, but a lot of people in Kansas City couldn't get it straight up clean over the air, So you could view it on sportingkc.com, but it was geofenced to Kansas and Missouri due to, league rules and broadcast deals. Well, the beauty of this Apple MLS season pass on Apple TV product is that like literally no blackouts anywhere in the world, available all the time. All sorts of cool content outside of a paywall. You don't have to pay to go view it. So we were talking about how do we get that story out there in a lot of different ways. And so, you know, the schedule release video was one of the first ones. And then this idea too, hey, you know, if we drop a video on Apple, people go watch it there. That's a really cool way to remind people and get people to go watch this other content that the video team and the content team here at Sporting has spent literal blood, sweat, and tears churning out over the last couple of months. And we're really, really proud of it. So just a really cool, fun way to do it. So 10 a.m. Thursday, February 16.
Today,
February 16. We're recording at something 30 in the morning. And you go to MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. You can view this video, and you can go to sportingstyle.com and you can order your jersey for pickup later in the day. Thomas, you want to run through the times for everybody on the Sporting Style pop-up store special extravaganza at Compass Minerals National Performance Center?
Nailed it.
Yeah, if you order it today, Thursday, you can pick it up starting at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our store will be open at Compass Minerals. And then Friday, tomorrow, will be open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, and then if you order on sportingstyle.com, you also get to choose a happy hour with a former player, a member of the 2013 MLS Cup championship team. Benny Feilhaber, Ike Opara, and Matt Beasler are all available depending on the day that you kind of choose. So those happy hours are available each day, and that's kind of available when you select your jersey. So we can kind of go through that here in a little bit.
A happy hour with Ike Opara? Is that what I heard?
Right. Happy hour with Ike Opara. You know, select beverages, cut waters supplied by Anheuser-Busch. So it'll be a good time. And Chad's got his margarita cut water right there.
I'm literally drinking a lime margarita cut water right here. I'm nothing if not a man of brand loyalty.
Brand synergy. Lawrence Olomurai riot.
That's a great one. I might be preferable to the Benny Feilhaber one, but I just feel like the Ike Opara one, that's going to be very popular.
They're all interesting for like different reasons, right? You know, Ike's a quiet guy. You don't like, he's not out there doing a lot. And I talked to Benny, I talked to Matt, you know, like I've seen them around town, all those kinds of things. I want to pick Ike's brain. I'm kind of with you. Ike's the guy that I'm interested to talk to there. There's also some other cool surprises. We'll leave them. They're surprises. We'll leave them as surprises, but some other really cool surprises for anybody who shows up at Compass Minerals National Performance Center at the Sporting Style pop-up store the next couple of days. Also free customization though for anybody who orders. So
okay, cool.
You get a 2023 primary jersey, you get free customization.
Beautiful, cool. And hey, before I forget on this, you mentioned the streaming problems of last year. I just wanted to say, I think you guys should be applauded for resolving or figuring out that situation. And yeah, it was kind of like figured out on the fly, but I think was not expecting in any way to see you guys be able to get out of that contract at all. And you figured it out and it worked. And, you know, most people were able to watch the game. So I think you should be proud of the way that ended up there.
Thanks. We tried. You know, that's the best we can say. Is we tried to make matches as accessible as humanly possible, knowing also it had to be a 1-year deal. You know, the league structured all those deals so that they had to end going into this season because of the league-wide rights deal, right? So imagine going into any sort of a negotiation about TV rights deals, knowing, hey, this is only 1 year probably. I was really, there wasn't a match I missed. Right. It wasn't available on my cable provider, but I was able to watch matches on sportingkc.com/live. And, you know, I was able to get it on a Roku or through the Sporting KC app on Sporting One. We did our damnedest to make sure it was available as much as, you know, possible. So thank you for saying that. We tried. And it's going to be even better. Everything I'm hearing about the product on the Apple, like MLS Season Pass broadcast side is awesome. You know, We're one of the only clubs in MLS with everything in 4K. If you ever watched any of the Apple baseball broadcasts last year, there was a lot said about them, mostly on like the commentary and who their target audience was. But everything about the picture quality and everything was incredible. And I think that they are aiming super high with that product this year. I know they're aiming super high. I've been on a lot of calls and a lot of meetings about it. We're really excited about what that product can be. And I even talked to the players about it. And you tell Eric, Tommy, hey, your family back in Germany is able to watch your games with no hassle. Like it's just that easy, right? And any fan of yours, Johnny Russell, any Darby County fan can just go learn more about Johnny Russell because there's a Johnny Russell player profile already up on MLS Season Pass, and they can follow him all season long. And so like that part of it, this is really cool. The accessibility could not be better. And you can go online on MLSsoccer.com right now and check out the schedule and see 2 of our first 4 matches of the season are outside the paywall. So there's a lot of there's gonna be a lot of access for a lot of people. It's gonna be really, really cool. Plus all this really cool content is outside the paywall.
So I said no more lollygagging.
We're not filibustering anymore, right?
And then we lollygagged and filibustered. Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm gonna play a video now that is debuting. It's really, I guess, debuting right here. We won't tell anybody at Apple that, but 10 a.m. Thursday morning.
It is debuting at 10 a.m. Thursday morning is when it's debuting, because that's when
debuting. Yes, 10 a.m. Thursday morning. MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Let's hope this plays.
And away we go at Children's Birthday Party.
Oh, starting off with Benny. Look at that. There it is. We're stripes again. Hoops, skinny hoops. Is that what I'm calling this? Skinny hoops?
Sorry, I'm taking it all in.
Man. Yeah, no, that's not.
I'm taking it all in.
Yeah, we're an audio medium here. You gotta help the video out, guys.
This is a cool video though.
Yeah.
That looks good. Everything looks good on Johnny Russell.
Hoops
4.0 is the name. The official
could you guys hear any of that?
No.
I heard the very beginning and then nothing after that.
Oh, well, gotta love how that works. Makes for great radio. Edit around that as you need to.
Yes, that was that was beautiful though.
We had a moment of silence there.
Yes,
so there it is. Hoops 4.0.
And the story on this is really simple when you think about it. It's I'll pull up a picture of the jersey now so we can all take a look at this. But the story on this is really simple. We talked about on this pod 2 years ago how when you turn on a television and you see a hoop striped soccer team, sporting blue and dark indigo stripes, we want you to know that is Sporting Kansas City. The same way that you turn on at TV and you see this is a little painful for us U.S. soccer fans right now, but don't we know it? You turn on TV and you see a team in all orange. It's the freaking Netherlands, and they're knocking us out of the World Cup, right?
Chad, there was like 5 other teams you could have gone with that were not the Netherlands that have.
Right. I know.
Croatia.
I didn't want to go with
Croatia.
Like
That's
Liverpool.
the layup.
Netherlands is in his
Croatia. Go with Brazil.
Yeah, Croatia with the checkers. Brazil, but that's
Italy
the point.
Didn't play this year, so we could have gone with them.
He wanted a team that
that's the point.
Good, not Brazil.
Yeah, it is clear to me because it is it has shades of the one that it's replacing. But it's clear that a brand is being formulated here. The stripes, the horizontal stripes and hoops, is definitely recognizable over the last few years.
And we've done some surveying on this, some not so hidden public surveying that people may or may not have picked up on, some private surveying on this, and when fans think about Sporting Kansas City, outside of the diehards, outside of the long time diehards, the hoop stripes are what fans tend to associate with the club, and I think that's because there were a lot of fans that came in after the first couple of trophies, after 2013, 2012, 2013, right? And so 2014 we debuted the very first hoops 1.0, and so a lot of fans
it's one of my all-time
came of age with this club. While we were wearing that, you see in this video, you see Benny Feilhaber scoring his famous free kick goal and then giving the Michael Jordan shrug, right? Wearing that jersey. 2 years after that, we rolled out the jersey that is in many ways the inspiration for this, the direct inspiration for this kit, which is the 2016 tonal striped, tonal hooped secondary kit.
Right.
So if you take a look at this kit and you lay it side by side with the 2016, which is one of our most popular, best-selling, highest like fan affinity jerseys of all time, it's not one for one, but it's really, really damn close to what we rolled out in 2016 as that super popular secondary kit. And then, 2 years ago, we debuted Hoops 3.0, the kind of the modern iteration of this, the primary jersey version of it with the sporting blue and the dark indigo. And we talked a lot about that time at like, there's nothing more iconic in the world of soccer than a Hoops jersey. And we wanted to make sure that when people turned on that TV and they saw it, they knew immediately it was Sporting Kansas City. Now, the truth of the matter is you can't just roll the same kit every year, right? So you have to change it up. And we thought that this, the version that you're seeing here is, it's the next evolution. It harkens back to the past. It lets us talk about the past. It lets us be proud of the jerseys that we've worn that people were really proud to wear. But it's a new kind of clean, modern take on that. And I don't know, Thomas, what am I missing from kind of a big picture perspective there? But that's where we wanted to go with our brand and with this kit, for the next 2 years. And it's not lost on us that the eyes of the world are kind of on us right now as a city, as a soccer city, right? Coming off of World Cup, and everything that we've been planning for the last couple of years has been with 2026 in mind and hoping we were going to get it, right? And so by the time we roll around in the 2026 season, like from a visual aesthetic perspective, we had to have something nailed that people knew, oh, that's Sporting when I see it. Had we signed freaking Ronaldo, like we had to have something that people knew was Sporting Kansas City when they saw it. And so that's been a big part of our conversation for the last couple of years, is developing a brand and making sure that people know Hoops, like, we own that in Major League Soccer. We own that in American soccer, because nobody else is doing it. And certainly we don't think anybody else is doing it as well or as clean as we think this jersey is.
It's growing on me the longer I look at it. I've liked it more the longer it's been sitting here in front of me.
So, Chad, last year with State Line 3.0, there were a lot of subtle details. Like on the back neck, there was the arch with the hat that had the state line kind of shaded into it. Walk us through the subtle details that you might not notice immediately tomorrow.
Can I interject and say the subtle things that I like? I'm digging how everything lines up for my OCD. The stars above the crest are just like perfectly in the line of that hoop. And then Compass Minerals fits exactly perfectly right in the middle of the two lines. It's great. Yeah.
Boy, it's almost like you were in the room with us.
My OCD appreciates
we were
it.
having some talk.
and the MLS logo is right with the stripes. I mean,
yes.
Those are the details that like, it's funny. We all laugh about them, but they matter. Like,
they do.
Aesthetically, they matter.
It looks unfinished if you don't do those things. It looks like
right.
You didn't put the care into it, even though some people will like, it doesn't matter. It won't look right.
And again, from an execution perspective, it's always like there's a trade-off. Like if you make one of those changes, does it affect another change, right? This one happened to line up perfectly, And truthfully, we've got a really great partner in Compass Minerals. We've had they came on very early in the process of this jersey design. So we're talking 2 years ago now, right, T? So this is what day is today? So 2021,
the 16th of February.
Yeah, the 16th of February. There you go. It's Jersey Thursday. In 2021 was the conversations with Compass Minerals, and I don't think, if I remember correctly, they weren't around for the brief for round one, but they came in kind of in process, and so we showed them this art very early on. Because if you go back and look, Compass Minerals used to have a different logo. Just, when they first came on and they were the sleeve partner, the jersey sleeve partner, they had a different mark, they had a different logo. And truthfully, part of the conversation Compass Minerals, a massive multi-billion-dollar company or whatever based here in Kansas City, had about their own brand was, how do they want that brand to be represented to the world? And did that mean it was time to evolve their brand? And obviously they decided yes. And as a part of those conversations, they came to us and said, we think we're going to do this. What suggestions do you have? And we said, let's talk about how it appears on a jersey. it was that simple of a conversation, and making sure that they had a version of a mark that made sense for a jersey. For, at that point, that's why we showed them this jersey and said for a hoop stripe jersey that it had to fit nice, to your point, Cody. Like, it had to fit in there. So those details do end up mattering. And to Thad's point, it doesn't feel complete if you don't try to take account for those kinds of details.
One thing that is sticking out to me is the Apple TV on the sleeve. Is that that's league wide, or were there any? Did teams have sleeve sponsors that are getting the boot for this, or how does that work?
Every team has it on the left sleeve. Okay. Their own version of that. As you can see, ours is in our team color. It's the MLS mark and our team color over the Apple TV patch. And then on the right sleeve, teams can still do a jersey sleeve partner.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, the details. I mean, the details as we were kind of starting to talk there. Details on this kit, and I apparently didn't pull a good photo of one of the details, but we can talk about it. But let's go to the back neck first. Let's go to the at the back of the jersey, kind of an evolved new version of our Argyle. A more modern take on our 3 interlocking diamonds.
3 diamonds.
With an SKC in it. What was that, Cody?
Yeah, just the 3 diamonds. It has evolved from Argyle, but people still kind of refer to it as that. But yeah, the 3 diamonds is another key part of the branding you guys have been working on.
And if you go back and you look at it, this will be, I think, 7 jerseys in a row now. Is that right?
Wow.
No, with some version of Argyle on it. Might be 6 jerseys in a row with some version of Argyle on it. It is a brand element. It's something. It's a part of. It's a huge part of our brand, and we hear all the time, bring back the Argyle, and we can rehash the conversation we have every year on this pod about how hard it is to bring back the Argyle. But we want fans to know we hear them. We want fans to know that it is a part of our brand, and we're going to continue to tell the kind of the Argyle, the Diamond story going forward. It's just it's always a matter of execution, and we've got thoughts, we've got ideas, but I think every primary kit for at least the last 2, if not 3, has had this, and the secondary kits as well has had some version of an Argyle diamond or a 3 diamonds on it. And this is the new, I'll call it the new, more modern, grown-up version of it. It's not the same thing you saw in the mid 2000s. It's grown up, or the 2010s or whatever. It's grown up since then. It's no longer just a direct kind of Yvonne Lindell Argyle from the 1970s. The world has moved on from that design, and we think that this is a really cool look that you're going to continue to see. You'll see it around the stadium, some new places and things like that. It's a big brand element for us. What I don't have here, and this again makes for fantastic radio, I did not bring a good picture of the back neck of the jersey. So let's see how much we can zoom in on this photo and take a look.
Paint the wall.
And so this is at the back neck, the neck tape as it's called. Paint the wall. This is 2023. This is 10 years on from the 2013 MLS Cup championship, the championship that really in many ways kind of solidified everything we wanted this club to be, solidified where we wanted to go with this club. And truthfully, people don't really remember it now, but that was the first time we actually physically painted the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. In 2012, Jimmy Nielsen put letters on the wall. And in 2013, he got up there with a can of spray paint. So it's tough to see in this photo, but I hope people take a look at it in the back of the jersey. It's really freaking cool. It says "Paint the Wall" in our brand font, in our Sporting Kansas City agency brand font, and then there's a literal pull of Jimmy Nielsen's 2013 that he painted on the wall, kind of embossed in around it. So wow. It's a direct reference to the 2013 team. We're going to honor that in a lot of cool ways this season, 10 years on, which is crazy to think about for those of us who were around for it. But we're going to honor that team and what they were able to accomplish in a lot of really cool ways this coming season that will roll out over time. But that back neck is to us a really cool storytelling element because, again, it's crazy. It's been 10 years. That is the moment that this became real to so many of us. And that's the moment it became real for so many fans. You know, it was no longer just kind of a flash in the pan. It was like, oh, this club means it. When they say they want to win championships, they're not just going to do it occasionally. They're going to do it a lot. And you know, that was in the middle of a 4 trophies in 6 years run and all that kind of stuff. So, 2013 paint the wall reference as a part of it as well. You can also see down here along the side, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but down here along the side, the indigo banding. And then, as I will show you here in a second, as we look at some of these other...
Thad, this jersey is called Hoops 4.0. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thad earlier
he's
said
going to
that
get
hoops
shy.
have to go all the way around.
Yeah,
I know.
He's too afraid.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, because I've told Chad this before. It's not really truly hoops unless it goes all the way around, or at least the majority of the stripes.
So, Chad,
it's okay.
I have a quick question. So I get the Nielsen homage because, you know, he's iconic and he was the captain and everything. But where's my Claudio Bieler homage?
Somewhere in South America.
Justice for Claudio.
I've been watching a lot of highlights over the last couple of weeks of that era as we work on some more Apple content, and it's easy to forget how good that guy was.
Yeah,
he's a really good soccer player. He had a knack for scoring goals. In fact, the goal he scored, I want to say it was against New England in the conference final, that little cutback goal where he just drifts into space and, you know, moves off the center back shoulder that nobody's paying attention to him, is such a good goal because it's a hard one-time finish. Anyway, this isn't a Claudio Bieler pod, but I've always been a Claudio Bieler stan. I think he was a hell of a soccer player.
It could. What about Suni Saad? Can we get like a Michigan reference, like subtly in the like?
Wow,
give Suni his flowers.
Deep cut with Suni Saad there.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
I wonder why.
So now you're showing us a picture of this magnificent creature. It's a picture of Alan Pulido.
Showing less thigh than he does on the training ground, though.
I mean, not by a lot. Mostly because he's got socks on here.
Yeah.
He's got soccer socks pulled over the knees.
Do you talk to the players when you're designing these and get their feedback on what they like, what they want to look like, and
they don't get to decide.
Do you ask them like
they don't know
do we need
2/3 of them won't be around by the time the kit comes out?
Well, but this is what I'm asking. I mean, like, do you have to like, you know, does Alan ever come to you and petition for shorter shorts or baggier shorts to fit his giant quads, or like how do the players factor in to the design process?
That's all Kitman's territory. That's also a different pod. That's a Mike Flaherty pod, which that's a whole different set of stories.
We've not done
I was
that
just
pod.
gonna say, I was like,
that.
that's an entirely different pod that you guys are delving into right here.
How do you fit his thighs into those shorts, Mike?
But
that's called the Jalen Lindsay question right there.
Vaseline.
No. But do the players get to have any input? Like, you know, and maybe you don't ask on you don't ask a player who may not be around, like the fringe players, but like, does Johnny Russell get a say in what happens?
It's not direct input. I mean, but we have conversations with them. It's more, you know, I mean, Thomas and I both, Nate Sadoff, who also is on our kit team, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about him, or Aaron Bournes, our VP of marketing, who's involved in the process. Like, we all have individual personal relationships with a lot of the guys of varying levels of kind of comfort and closeness, but we talk to them about it for sure. You know, they know who the kit team is. They bring thoughts to us. They bring thoughts to Flaherty. They bring thoughts to ownership. You know, like all of those kinds of things come up in conversation. I mean, so not direct input, T, but definitely indirect, right?
Correct. And I was going to say, I mean, Peter Vermees is one of those that actually really does have some really good feedback every time we take one of these. He's one that always has something really great to say, some good feedback that we take, and we really think about what he says when we think about, okay, we're going to get ready to do 2025 here in a minute. All right, what did he just say about 23?
Yep. And
how does he like that? So let's take that into 25 or whatever it is. But he's a big one as well that we love to kind of keep involved in the process.
Yeah, one of the most nerve-wracking days every year is the day that Thomas and I, and sometimes a mannequin, roll into Peter's office at Compass Minerals National Performance Center and show him prototype jerseys.
And Peter may or may not walk in while you're like dressing a half-naked mannequin, you know, and Peter always has a funny comment about that. So
Peter's stylish, so I'm not surprised
Right.
to hear he's involved in this.
No, and Peter definitely does have thoughts. I mean, I won't get into like what his exact feedback was on the 24 kit, but it was very like, hey, when are we going to do this again? Like he was like, well, I really like this thing we did one time.
Oh, come on, give us what that is. Give us Peter's favorite jersey. Give us that one.
They want the exclusive.
When are we going to do that again?
It was a jersey that No,
but to your point, like I mean, Peter is one of those that believes the feel good, play good, look good,
Right.
play good type of mentality, and he believes that with especially this one. I follow him on this one, the look good, play good type of mentality. He followed in our footsteps with that one.
Yeah, and again, ownership cares not in like a meddling kind of way, but ownership cares in like a brand story kind of way. Like that's. I talked to both Cliff and Mike Illig specifically about this kit and what we're doing next year and what we're doing the year after, and they have very specific thoughts about it, and that makes us, like one, it makes us feel empowered in these conversations with Adidas or with even just with like, hey, this is where we're taking, the brand that they put all the money behind, right? So it's really cool to have those conversations, but with the players, it's usually like. For example, this one, we've been doing a series of teasers over the last couple of weeks where we showed the guys the kit and they reacted. I don't know if you guys saw those.
Yeah.
But like every single one of them was like, oh, that's dope. We brought the button back, or that's cool. I like how it's like, it's the same kit we've been wearing, but it's so different. It's clean, so we actually have talked about, do we release all those videos now with like the behind the scenes where you can hear what they actually said, what they were really excited about. So we've got some plans around that over the coming months, but, excuse me, but it's really cool that, they do have feedback. They do care. They care a lot about things like the material and the weight and how it fits and all of that kind of stuff as well. Every year they fit slightly different, and it's due to the materials and all of that. So they always want to try them on and make sure that, hey, if I was I'll use their terminology. If I was an M last year, am I still an M? They don't say large, medium, and small for whatever reason. I don't know if it's like you've got players from all over the world, so they just use the letters, but it's a weird quirk of that one. But
they definitely take it personally too if they go up or down in size, depending on how much time they spent in the weight room that year.
I like that little detail.
Yeah.
L and M and S.
It's not lost on me though that Johnny Russell. You're showing us a picture of Johnny Russell in hoops, and if I remember right, he's a Celtic fan. And Celtic iconically has hoops.
Yes.
So I know you say the players don't have a ton of input, but I'd like to believe and create the hashtag narrative that Johnny has pushed for hoops.
Johnny, he hasn't said it this way, but I think if we went away from hoops, Thomas and Nate and I would have to answer to Johnny Russell. Yeah.
And you should.
Yeah.
You should.
I walked in during our hype shoot the other day, the day that this photo that we're looking at was taken. I walked into a changing room as he was getting ready to go to his part of the set, and Johnny Russell and Connell McCourt, who is one of our video producers. Connell is from Ireland, is a massive Celtic fan as well. Grew up a Celtic fan. And so between Johnny Russell's Scottish accent, Connell's Irish accent, and them talking about players all over the Scottish Prem, it was one of the most unintelligible conversations I've ever walked into that was happening in the same language that like I supposedly speak. And because they're both just huge Celtic fans and they were talking about it. And I was picking up like one in every three words. It was very, very, very fun. But no, like Johnny specifically referenced Celtic when we were talking about this kit when he saw this the first time. So you can even watch that one of those teaser videos where he's just like, it looks good, but I've already seen it. Because he had seen it a couple of weeks back and he was really excited about it. But no, so it is. To go all the way back to the question, it really is. It's more indirect feedback about like what they like, what they don't like, and a lot of that we can take to Adidas as well and say, hey, the guys mentioned this one thing about the cut or the collar, and you can take a look at the when you look at the back neck or the neck tape of this collar, it's a very different neck tape. It's going to rub less on the back of the neck than previous ones, those kinds of things. So Adidas is always trying to improve the actual technical performance of these jerseys as well.
This picture you have up with Johnny Russell, it's
he's about to make me buy it. Just the longer you make me look at Johnny Russell wearing it, I'm about to put an online order in.
I mean, I like because I haven't given
sportingstyle.com. Well, it's open right now. Now that we're talking about it,
yes, it is open.
But that just looks really good. The full kit there, the shorts and the jersey together.
That's one of the things that we've noticed too. Like you see the jersey, we love the jersey, obviously, but you see it top to bottom, shorts, socks, top.
Yeah, I can't really see the socks, man. So you got to give me a different picture later. But
it just works really well together, the entire kit, and it always has. But this one in particular, we just really felt like it pulls everything together while looking at the player in the entire kit. So
we do the jeans test too. We put it on with jeans. You know, in fact, there's a photo on my camera roll of our senior designer Nate Sathoff wearing the prototype for I think it's the 24 kit in jeans, and we wanted to see what it looked like. We wanted to see what it looked like in different lighting settings and all that kind of stuff. And so
let's
this one,
see that one.
Yeah, text us.
Yeah, where's that
text
one?
Us. Are the socks striped also?
they're not. We're working on that. We're still fighting that one to get to the striped socks again.
We mentioned earlier a couple questions that we ask Adidas every year, and let us tell you that's one that we have we'll ask them every year, and we prefaced it every time that we have a call with them. We go, you know what we're going to ask, and they're like, stripes on the socks. So,
am I dreaming, or wasn't
it happened?
Wasn't the year with the gold star, the original hoops? Didn't that have? Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking.
It did, and so did the 2016 tonal stripes. The tonal hoops had it.
Oh yeah.
So fun fact, as you can kind of see in this picture of Eric Tommy that I pulled up now, they're not actually socks anymore. They're sleeves.
Right,
they don't actually go down below.
Do they
the
have
foot.
holes in them?
Yeah, they're tubes, if you will. They're not tube socks. They're just tubes.
Right.
So they've gone to different manufacturers over the last couple of years to try and because the players prefer these to actual traditional soccer socks. So in the manufacturing process, they're still working through trying to figure out, like we said, we want hoops. I'm sure every team around the world wants some sort of a design element on the sock. And we're working through that. Like T said, like we hit a point in every call with Adidas where we're just like, you guys know it's about that time. Socks, cool. We've asked. We'll move on now, but we have to ask, because if we don't ask, one of these years you're gonna be like, oh, you guys should have asked. We could have said yes to the sock thing last year. So we ask every freaking time, and that's not just even like on the official calls. Like we go up to Portland once a year for meetings with them, like out at dinner, out at drinks afterwards. So we ask at dinner. And then we ask again at drinks, and then we ask again as we close down the bar and come home. Like
as the Malort shot comes out.
Yeah, the Malort shots come out with those guys every time now. So yeah, it's a.
You started earlier to say about something down the indigo stripe on the side, but I think you got interrupted.
Yeah.
What was the detail on that? You're going to tell us.
So every as I zoom in here on Eric Tommy, every Adidas kit in this cycle has this. They call it banding down the side. And ours is dark indigo. You'll see it. It's always a contrast color. Some clubs are looking at doing some kind of multicolored things like that. I think down the road, I don't think I've seen anything yet on it, T, right? But there's some ability to do some cool stuff with it.
I want to say there's one kit right now that has utilized it for a sign off. I want to say, but I don't know who it is right now.
Got it. Yeah. So let me see if I can pull up another picture where we can get a clearer look at it. But yeah, it's a banding down the side, and then there are underarm panels that are also an alt color. In this case, dark indigo for us. I'll pull up Alan Polito again here, and you can kind of see the underarm panels, which are it's really just kind of another grounding element to bring some extra. What's the word I'm looking for? Just to bring some extra interest at it from the backside of the jersey. The sleeve cuffs, dark indigo, the hem, dark indigo, and the banding, and all dark indigo. So that when you are looking at it from behind, it's still very clearly sporting blue and dark indigo. Name and number, dark indigo, all that fun stuff.
Look how fit he looks. Look how ready he is to bang in 15 goals.
He's
in the first.
I was talking to him the other day. He's ready, and he's chomping at the bit to play soccer. again, so it's really exciting to see him kind of working his way back, and he's, he's not quite there yet, but he's going to play a huge part of this season. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, we got any final thoughts here? I feel like if I don't make an attempt to end it here, we would just keep talking forever and ever and ever.
Well, I have a non-kit question for Chad.
Okay.
Look at Willie Agata, looking so athletic and ready to bang in more goals than Allen. But okay, Chad, you mentioned you have an Emmy. It's on your Twitter profile. You have an Emmy.
I didn't mention it.
It's on your Twitter profile.
Yeah,
it
hold
says
on. Don't do that.
Wait,
to
you
him.
know what Twitter
But I
is?
didn't call it out.
He didn't just come on the Zoom and say, "Hey guys, I have an Emmy. You ready to record this podcast?"
He announced it to the world with his Twitter. He told Elon he has one. But so, what is your Emmy for?
So this is actually really cool. So 2 years ago, when we launched the first kind of new iteration of the Hoops, the Hoops 3.0, with the Victory Project on the front and the Force for Good campaign with Children's Mercy Hospital here in Kansas City, and coming off of the global pandemic and all that, coming off of it like it's not still a thing, but you get where I'm going. Coming off the 2020 year and going into 2021, when we launched that kit with the Victory Project as the jersey front sponsor and a portion of proceeds from all sales going to charity, and that charity obviously being Children's Mercy Hospital. The video that we did to announce that, where we talked about a Force for Good, it opens with with a kid who's literally taking cancer medication and dreaming of being a soccer player, and then Jake Reed, our team president and CEO, comes out and talks about what the campaign is, and you see all sorts of people unboxing the jersey and stuff like that. Anyway, that video won a Midwest Emmy, which is really, really cool. And we're really proud of it. It's one of those things in your career that you're just like, oh, we're nominated for it. Oh, we won an Emmy. It's
a pleasure just to be nominated, right?
Right. It's a pleasure. And the thing about those processes is you like, they're essentially either self-nominations or somebody sends in a nomination, right?
Yeah.
But it's an Emmy. So who knows how many who knows how many entries there are, let alone to be nominated. And when we got nominated, it was like, oh, that's really cool. We got nominated for an Emmy, and then thought nothing of it, just didn't expect it. And because it was still kind of pandemic time of not getting it together in massive events, there wasn't an Emmy ceremony. There wasn't, we didn't go anywhere. It was an online thing. And so just, random Saturday night, it was just like, oh, hey, I remember distinctly. I was following along. I was sitting on my phone, watching it on my phone, following the announcements, watching a movie with my wife. And I just our category popped up, and I was like, oh, shit. hey, babe, I just won an Emmy. And she's like, what? And it was just like, yeah, no, check this out. We just won an Emmy. Sporting just won an Emmy for this thing we did. And so, there's I want to be very, very clear. My name's not the only name on this thing. There's a whole bunch of names and a whole bunch of people who were involved in it. But the good folks at Lore, who were the production company who did a lot of work on it, a bunch of us here at Sporting. But yeah, there's we won an Emmy for that, and it's one of those moments that you're just like, well, I'm 1/4 of the way to an EGOT. What do I have to do to go get a Tony now?
That was literally my next question. You're 1/4 of the way to the EGOT. What's next?
So my brother is actually a professional actor, and if you better believe I like theater actor. He's a theater actor, and so the moment we won an Emmy, I was just like, dude, I'm closer to an EGOT than you are. Where's your Tony, bro? No, it's maybe we'll figure out a spoken word Grammy. Those seem like the ones that we have the best chance at winning. I don't think we're going to win any musical Grammys anytime soon. So a spoken word Grammy. It's kind of like how if I'm going to ever play in the Olympics, it's in curling at this point. That feels like a sport I could pick up and maybe athletically have a shot.
Peter Vermeer's halftime speech of the spoken word.
There you go. Spoken word Grammys.
Johnny Russell and the staffer whose name I'm forgetting, who's from Ireland.
Connell.
Johnny and Connell.
Connell is such an Irish name
Connell McCourt.
That it sounds Irish just saying it. Like when you say it, you say it in an Irish accent unintentionally.
Connell is 10 out of 10 Irish, no notes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the Emmy. I don't think I was ever aware of that. I never looked at your Twitter bio close enough, I guess.
Wow.
The Sporting KC content team, video team has always been very good. So that's good. You guys have an Emmy to go along with that.
That's one of those like career kind of cool validating things. And it's funny because you're only allowed to put X number of names on an Emmy, but so many people were actually a part of that project that don't, have a statuette and don't get to say it. And the cool thing about the Emmys is they're regional. Like,
yeah.
So the Emmys that we all sit down and watch at the end of the year, where I guess Netflix runs away with it these days, right? But back in the day, it was the big networks. Those are the national Emmys, and to be eligible for those, you have to be airing on a national broadcast platform. So none of those things are eligible for the regional Emmys, and none of anything that's done regionally is eligible for the national Emmys. So when the regional Emmys come, it's like it's the whole Midwest region. It's parts of Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska. So to be recognized in that kind of category of like you did something that was in this case considered among the best public service announcements is what this is specifically for in an entire region and is really, really cool. It's the pinnacle of the career in a lot of ways. It's awesome.
You should be eligible this year though, because you're going to be putting stuff up on MLS Season Pass through Apple.
I genuinely need to figure that out. We were talking about that the other day. Is like how do who owns the content and where is it eligible for any of those kinds of awards? We're really proud of some of that content. There's a stupid good video about the sway ritual at the end of the match that Maddie Anderson, one of our video producers, did. Like she gets really embarrassed when I talk about it because it's that good, and I'm so proud of like what she was able to put together. That everybody should go watch. It's really cool. We're really proud of like the club profile and all that. So whoever said earlier that we've always had a really good content team, like thank you, and we're always working to make it bigger and better, and we're really excited where kind of the new generation of this can go because of the Apple content. So I don't know, maybe more Emmys in the future. We'll see.
That was me. I complimented you. Chad
Thanks,
Reynolds, Thomas Earle, thank you very much for joining, guys. Congratulations. David, what do you got?
Let them get their plugs in. Chad, where do we find your Twitter bio that tells us that you won an Emmy?
Twitter, for as long as it still exists. You can find me at the Chad_KC. That's also the same on like Instagram. That's mostly pictures of my vacations and my dog. So different vibes there. Really though, go follow the team, follow the crew who does all the hard work, and I'm going to be terrible and not remember all their names, but Nate Sadoff, Jesse Carpenter, Max Lehman, Maddie Anderson, Juwan Bush, Connell McCourt, Sailor Rivas, Courtney Park, like the team that does our content is stupid good, and we're really, really proud of what we can do. So don't worry about me.
So we should have them on sometime.
Now he's giving his Emmy award speech to us, guys.
Thomas, where can we find you other than a Sporting Style store?
At Sporting Style.
He's a company man.
That is our.
That's
mine.
Right there.
Chad knows I'm Sporting Style. So follow Sporting Style on both Twitter and Instagram. We'll be releasing this today at 10 a.m. So
it has been released.
Yes, it's already been released.
So I just had the idea. We're gonna have you guys back on when the retro stuff comes out over the summer. When the next round of retro gear comes out, we're gonna bother you again.
Yeah, I think we can probably have another one. Chad, I don't know. I mean, this might be a leak here, but
yeah,
it'll be earlier this year.
There we go, an exclusive.
We could probably
start rolling some stuff.
We could probably have some whiz talk in the late March time frame.
That is early.
If that interests anybody. So
okay,
it does.
Thad, where do we find you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Where do we find you on Twitter?
On Twitter, Backpost.
He's giving you an opportunity to say your.
That is at the Backpost. Cody, where are you?
At that Cody, though.
And I'm not on Twitter, so you can't find me anywhere.
Liar.
Other than BlueTestament.com.
All right, Chad and Thomas, thank you very much, guys. Always a pleasure, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, fellas.
Much appreciated. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good sporting.
The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Some punter strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.